You're listening to the Echo Ratings Eventing Podcast, the show with a light-hearted look at the eventing world, all of the big event previews, reviews, and special guests, and of course, backed up with all of the key Echo Ratings stats. Welcome to the Echo Ratings Eventing Podcast. Welcome to the Echo Ratings Eventing Podcast. And listeners, it is your lucky week because you have not just one preview podcast, Houghton is out now, but you also are tuned in for a second because this weekend it is Baborowko in Poland, which has attracted an extremely strong field of competitors and most notably a large number of very, very big German names. So we are going to be digging a little bit deeper and picking our winners. And with me, 2 preview shows in 1 week, Georgia Patrick. I am looking forward to what we can unearth for Baborowko.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Hope the listeners don't get bored of me at this point.
No, they won't. I had so many messages after Houghton going, we love GP. She talks far more sense than the rest of you. I will apologise. My toddler has very kindly shared his little cold germs with me. And so I am a big bag of sniffles. So if I sound a little bit strange, listeners, that is why, because I have man flu. And it's definitely not COVID. I feel like I feel like I need to, you know, if you even have so much as a sniffle these days, you have to justify it by the fact it's 100% not COVID.
I mean, at this point, I sneeze and say, not COVID.
I know. You choke on a drink and you cough and you go, don't worry, not COVID. Anyway, so I'm absolutely fine, but that's probably why I sound a little bit strange or more strange than normal. So let's talk Baborowko because there are some really, really big names. We're going to cover for you listeners the 4-star short, which looking at it, think must be a German trial because all of the big names are running. And then there's the 4-star long, and there's actually a few really notable combinations to pick out for you in the 4-star long as well that are chasing Olympic qualification or that we might see a little bit later on this year at the European Championships. So we'll start with the 4-star short. And Georgia, it is a chance for us to see once again the runners-up from the European Championships a couple of years ago. He's going for 3 Olympic titles this summer. He's going to be a hot favourite. Michael Jung, Fisher Chipmunk, 36% win chance on the prediction centre. And I have to admit, I am really looking forward to seeing what kind of performance he lays down because he's come out firing in 2021.
Yeah, certainly is. Comes in with the highest 6RA, pretty much highest anything.
What is his 6-run average? So that is the average of his last 6 dressage tests. But I mean, like 50% of his last 6 tests come in sub 20.
And that's fully 6RA of 20.5. So certainly is showing that 50% of them.
That's crazy. I mean, it is such a very, very strong start in that first phase that it becomes hard to look past him, certainly as our dressage leader. We'll talk about a few of the others because SAP Hale-Bob in the lineup as well. But he I think it is very deservedly the favourite this weekend. Ran brilliantly at Marbach last time out and actually won the 4-star short there. Had a pole down and a few time penalties in the show jumping, but a clear cross country inside the time. And actually his cross country inside the time right now is exceptional. With Mickey on board, they've made the time numerous times at 4-star short. So I would be expecting if they go out there looking to make it this weekend, they'll be aiming to run competitively. And I think it's always good, isn't it, when we get to see these top horses go up against each other. And actually, Mickey has a number of other rides in the 4-star short. Fisher Wildwave, who is entered, am I right in saying, entered for his first 5-star at Le Moulin, Georgia?
Yes, he is, I think, along with Highlighter, who he's also got here this weekend.
Okay, cool. And I think it's been a couple of years since Mickey has run at 5-star level.
2018.
Yeah, so That's really good to see him back with 2 horses. And Fisher Wildwave actually won the Tokyo test event back in 2019 as well. So would be absolutely one to watch, as I think will be his first pick as a European source. Would you agree? Am I being a bit too out there, bold?
No, as you said it, I thought you were being bold, but actually I think you're perfectly right. You kind of go through his horses that he's got that obviously aren't Fisher Chipmunk and therefore are in with the Europeans chance. I think Wild Wave has made its mark at this point.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Really, really nice horse. He's got highlighter in this field as well. Hard to look past him as our winner with Fisher Chipmunk. We'll pick podiums a little bit later on, but he comes.
I mean, absolutely. You look at the top 5 on Prediction Centre on win chance, and 3 of them is Mickey. So
yeah. I mean, cumulatively, you add his chances together, 40%, 48%. He's got a nearly 50% chance of winning. What about SAP Hailbob, Georgia? Because Ingrid is obviously a double European champion with the horse. He has been such an incredible star for her. He is, I want to say, 17 now. SAP Ashapi is obviously out of contention. We've had this conversation on the podcast before, so she's out for the year, which means that Hailbob is very much going to be Ingrid's first choice for the Olympics. And I think there will be a degree of pressure, if it is fair to say, for them to go out and have a good run this weekend.
Yes, I certainly agree. I think for me, I know Dee is on the SAP Hailbob train, but I always I don't know, I have a question mark over him and I never know why. I'm looking at his SJ6, which is 5.3, so meaning he's averaged more than a pole in his last 6 runs. And Baborowko being a venue where actually the show jumping can either play into their favour with it's had a 22% clear rate, 29% clear rate in its first run here at 4 stars short. But equally, the show jumping clear rate's been down at 4%. So it may be a weekend we see a rail or 2 come down.
Okay, that would be really interesting. I think we spoke about this on the overview show a few weeks ago. Very much, these top horses put themselves in those positions time and time again. So when we talk about them, we're kind of looking for any potential chinks in the armour. Now, they're a double European champion. They have been 3rd at a World Equestrian Games. There is absolutely no doubt that they are an incredible combination. But they've had a few more poles down in the show jumping in recent years, although I would say they won at the back end of last year. They had that really disappointing run at Le Moulin in the 4-star short, and then they went to Protoni and they won there, finishing on a 24.4. So they absolutely still have it. It is probably not justified for us to be saying, is there a question mark? But the German team is so strong that they'll just want to go out this weekend and make sure that they put in a really strong showing in all 3 phases. I think they probably will. Will they beat Chipmunk? I'm not sure. They can definitely mix it in those low 20s. So they'll certainly be there or thereabouts after the first phase. And absolutely nobody can doubt Ingrid's brilliance either. I really hope that we see them back on incredible form, and that would then see them going to, I imagine, Le Moulin 4-star short would be a big key indicator for the German team, and therefore they've got a couple of really important runs left, and this is certainly one of them. Okay, so Ingrid is second on the Prediction Centre, 21% win chance. Sandra Auffarth, Georgia, is a really interesting one because she is obviously a former world champion, and actually she's got a couple of really good horses in the field and should not be overlooked here at all.
Yeah, she's certainly the one that kind of hasn't been in everyone's minds in recent years, but has certainly been building up and is coming here with 2 of the top rated horses and actually could easily give us a shake up to the Michael Ingrid train.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Viamant Dumas, who was runner-up at Marbach in that really competitive 4-star short, actually finished second to Fisher Chipmunk a few weeks ago in their last run, beating horses like Andrew Hoy's Vasily de Lassos. And then Let's Dance as well, who was in the top 5 again at Marbach, and again has had some really, really strong results as well. So I'd say out of the 2 of them, I mean, personally, I would say Viamant Dumas is probably the favourite out of the 2 of Sandra horses, but we shouldn't be at all surprised to see her finish with 2 inside sort of the top 6 area.
And I think I'm right in thinking Viamant went to WEG as well, so certainly would be probably her
He
higher pick.
went to, he definitely went to the European Championships in 2019.
Yeah, he did try on as well.
Oh, did he do? Oh my God. So he's actually done 2 championships. Didn't go to plan in try-on, but finished just outside the top 10 in Le Moulin. So actually, he's got 2 championships under his belt. Yeah, that's a great spot, actually. They haven't been out of the top 8 in their last 6 internationals. Incredible. I would say both of her horses, incredible show jumpers. So Viamant du Matz has had 1 pole in his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 runs. So 1 pole in 12 runs for Viamant du Matz. And I'm pretty certain that Let's Dance is something similar, because he had a pole down at Buccolo that cost him the win in, I want to say it was 2019. Yeah, I mean, he's had 1 in, God, you have to go way further back for him to have a pole down. He's not had a pole down since, he's had 1 pole down, since 2016 in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 runs. So if the show jumping is tough at Baborowko, which you've already said it could well be, the clear rate has been as low as 4%, then the 2 Sandra Auffarth horses will absolutely be looking to capitalise, and they're equally capable of mid-low 20s in the dressage, probably more likely mid-20s in the dressage. So look out for her. And I would say, I mean, there's some really, really good horses in the field. Pavel Spizak will be the favourite of the home team with Banderas, who is his long-time championship horse. Felix Vogue and Calero actually have been top 6 at Kentucky, very much on the Swiss sort of pathway to the Olympics. And the horse has had, I want to say, had a bit of time off. We didn't see him quite so much. We haven't seen him at a long format since, I say a bit of time off, but about the same as everybody with COVID, to be fair. Had some really good results last year at Avanche and at Pretoni, went really, really well, has come out well this year. So Calero absolutely won, has been on Event Rider Masters leg podium in Jardy back in 2019, I think it was. So definitely one to watch for the Swiss. And seeing as Dee isn't here, I would put it up that there is Sophie Loeb, J'adore Moi, in the fields as well, and she would have a really good track record. We spoke about her a lot on the show last year, and certainly one that has been really, really impressive. Actually finished 3rd at Pretoni in the long format 4-star last year. I think that was the horse's first run at long format level. So that horse has been in some very, very good company, and I think you would want to keep an eye out for them as future German stars. And actually could be one for the Europeans, if we're looking back end of the year, could very much be one that could get experience and sort of challenge for a place at the Europeans.
I think he's come here with the German team, and I think he's come here with the German team is certainly on their radar. So we'll be one aiming for Europeans.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice to see some different German riders making their kind of way into the squad, because we've seen, Ingrid, Mickey, Sandra, Andrea Stabowski, riders like that have really monopolised the squad. Julia Krajewski as well over the last few years. And Julia has Amanda Benaville obviously stepping up to the plate with that really good Semur win. And so it's nice to see a few different German riders kind of making their mark and sort of trying to put their name into the hat for a win, and for selection at future championships. Okay, I would say that Maxime Livio has a really interesting ride in Appy de Loubert, and I just would say, again, could be one for the Europeans, but do not write him off, because he comes forward. I thought I had to scroll down the prediction centre slightly for him. And actually, this horse is a 4-star long format winner. Won Linear last year on a score of 27.0. So is absolutely capable. Could just have a pole down in the show jumping. That would be my question mark over them. But don't be surprised to see him in the sort of the mid-20s after dressage. And he could put in a really, really competitive run here. One more for you. Well, 2 more actually. Louise Reimacher, Cato 60. I keep looking down this list, Georgia, and it is Brilliant.
Just keep finding another name.
I know. So Louise Reimacher for Sweden, Kato 60, one to watch, but also I would say Karin Donckers and Leipheimer Vanta Verhoff. So Karin, very much. I mean, I love trotting out her stat of how many championships she's been to. And I would say she's obviously got Leipheimer Vanta Verhoff and she has Fletcher Vanta Verhoff. I want to say they are full brothers. And I will
They're certainly related. I think they are.
Yeah,
they're certainly brothers.
I have a feeling they could be full brothers. So Leipheimer is only a 10-year-old by Vigo Darzun and out of Southern Queen. And I will just check. And has had, top 5 finishes at 4-star long format. And Fletcher Van der Verhoff won at 4-star short level last year, but is 16 now. So I wouldn't be surprised if Leipheimer is very much, full brothers. 6 years apart, but full brothers. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is one that she wants to be taking to the Olympics or the Europeans this year. I think we'll see them at one of those championships.
I have got fully distracted by Anna Nilsson and Candy Girl.
Oh, yes.
Looking on Simple Metrics, came up with the highest SJ6 adjusted, so has jumped clear in their last 6 and on courses where the average was 6.1. So it's actually been proven it. And going down their scores, they've sort of had the kind of low 30s dressage, a lot of clears and jumping close to, and finishing close to the cross-country time as well. I think may be kind of an interesting one.
That is a great spot, Georgia. I would say Candy Girl, actually. So Anna rode for Sweden back at Jerez at the World Games in 2002. And she's been on a couple of Europeans teams as well. But Sweden, they're always one of those teams, aren't they, that are so underrated, really, because they've been on the team podium at 3 of the last 4 European championships in some very, very good company. And I would say this is definitely one that could be challenging for a spot this year. They've won a couple of times at the level below, haven't quite had as much success, I would say, at long format 4-star. In fact, I want to say they actually still need a long format 4-star qualification. So maybe one to watch for the Europeans later on in the year. I'm just going to double check that because I think I'm just searching the FEI database.
No, I am.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But look, keep an eye out for them because it's nice to see some of these different countries kind of making their impact. Felix Etzel has Bandit 436 in there as well. Okay, podium, Georgia. For the 4-star short, before we talk briefly about the 4-star long, who wins it?
Is it possible to look past the German dominance? I think Michael coming in with 3. Am I allowed to say he'll win on one of the 3?
No way. I want names. Give me a name. That would be very cheeky.
I'm invoking the British fence. We're allowed to stay on it, but if I have to come off, we'll go Fisher Chipmunk.
Yep.
Comes through, got the strongest chance. We'll start from their dressage. We'll lead the dressage, continue from there, and add to the list of 3 other names that have won the 4-star short from the front.
Okay, go on then. Who's second?
Ingrid.
Yeah.
Bobby will be there, just his dressage won't be quite as strong, but he'll have a beautiful show jumping.
And third?
Sandra Auffarth.
Which horse? Okay. I'm going to say, I can't see Michael Jung being beaten with Fisher Chipmunk. I'm actually going to go out there and say that I think he will win on a sub 22. I think he'll finish on his dressage score. So I'm going to just add in a little extra spice to my prediction there. I'm going to say that somebody like who could finish second? I was going to say Ingrid Klimke. I'm going to say Ingrid finishes third with SAP Hailbob. I think she's back to form, and Bobby is a very good boy, and we all love watching them. And so I'm going to say she finishes in third, but I'm actually going to mix it up slightly and say that Felix Bog and Calero come up into second and finished just behind Michael Jung and Fisher Chipmunk. So that is my top three. Ingrid in third, Felix Vogue second, Michael Jung, Fisher Chipmunk are the winners. Now, let's just talk very briefly about the 4-star long at Baborowko. So obviously, this is still a qualifying run for horses in with a chance of going to the Olympics, and there's a couple in here that we really ought to just flag up for you. Firstly being Ingrid's other ride, Equestro's Sienna Just Do It, who would very much be her second horse now. With Asher P out for the season, this mare is really feisty. She's very talented. Sometimes hasn't quite got it all right on the same day, but let's be honest, Ingrid Klimke is a genius. And she still needs that 4-star long format qualification. So would very much be looking to tick that box here this weekend.
And it's actually the horse is only 9, so certainly any feistiness is allowed. And I'm sure Ingrid has been working over the winter to be
absolutely
getting it all there.
And she came out this year with a really, really good result at Marbach in that really hot 4-star short. She had a top 10 finish there, and she's had some really, really solid results, some flashes of brilliance. She's been down in the mid-low 20s, but also can throw in the odd sort of 40 in the dressage, which is something we're not used to seeing with Ingrid at all. They did their first long format 4-star at Protoni back end of last year, picked up 20 penalties and then withdrew before the show jumping. So they are looking for that qualifying box to be ticked this weekend. I think that she will be a backup horse to Hail Bob for the summer, but I think this is the mare that we could see Ingrid on at the European Championships in Avranches later on this year. So definitely keep an eye out for them. And India, Georgia, have got one that we need to watch for Olympic qualification as well.
Yeah, certainly. The name that was very pleased to see as I looked down the list was Senor Medicott and Fouan Muez. Comes here. Has actually got...
There we go.
Comes here.
I think I'm saying that right.
I'll stick with the horse name. You're far better.
Senor Medicott, former Bettina Hoy ride.
European ride.
Yeah.
So actually, and kind of really nice things to see was their best 608. They've actually got the best 608 of the horses in the field, and having finished second at the Asian Championships, will certainly be looking for their 4-star long qualification this weekend.
Yeah, and so India have, I think, one slot for the Olympic Games. So Fouad needs to get that Olympic qualifying run to be in with a chance himself.
And he actually brings 2 horses forward this weekend. So there is another chance he'll qualify Dirage for.
Okay, yeah. That's a good call. And actually, I mean, there's some good other riders in the field. So Hoy Fonseca, Ballypatrick SRS, I'm pretty certain he is looking for a Brazilian qualifying run at 4-star long format with this horse. I want to say Ballypatrick SRS was the horse that he rode at the Pan American Games. It was, and he had that really nasty fall on him on the cross country. Was absolutely fine, but just hasn't been able to complete a 4-star long to get that sort of qualifying box ticked for Brazil. So that is absolutely one that will be on the radar this weekend. And I mean, Dirk Schrader has a very good ride in Casino 80. Frank Ossolt in the lineup as well with Yum Yum. Pietro Grandi has a former Hollywood head ride in Scuderia 1918. I'm not doing the John Kyle Italian.
Knew what was going through my mind.
Yeah, no, can't do it. Future, so that horse is in there as well. So basically, listeners, what we're trying to tell you is look out for Baborowko this weekend, because not only are the German riders out in force, but there are some really key combinations that could be making things happen for themselves later on in the year. Georgia, who do you think? We won't do a podium in the 4-star long, but just pick me your winner.
I think Dirk Strada is going to come through with his Casino 80 horse.
I was going to pick him. I'm going Ingrid. I'm going to say Ingrid's going to have a great week in Poland. I think Greta Busaka as well, her daughter has some good rides in the other classes as well, so look out for them. But yeah, that is Baborowko this weekend. So listeners, we hope we've given you a little insight into eventing in Poland that will be taking place throughout the weekend as well. Plenty going on. We will do a weekend review show early next week and kind of look back on Houghton and look back on Baborowko as well, and kind of unpick everything that happened. So Georgia, thank you very much.
No, you're very welcome. And Baborowko is being live streamed, and I've already seen the dressage just started. I had a bit of a sneak peek at who was going.
Oh, okay. So we are recording this. I'm just going to set the scene at 9:00 on a Thursday morning. It will be out later today, so it will be out the day of dressage. I will set the scene for you, listeners. I'm currently sat. I've got an eye test, and I'm currently sat in my car with my microphone, my laptop, in a retail park, just parked up. So if anybody has caught sight of me that walks past the car, they just look at me a bit funny, but that's okay. All dedicated to the cause.
Why we love Nicole Brown. We'll be happily recording in a retail park.
I know, dedicated to the cause. There we go. Anyway, I better go and check my eyesight. Watch Baborowko, listeners. Enjoy Houghton, and we will be back next week with more for you on the Echo Ratings Eventing podcast. We've got loads coming up, some really, really cool shows. The next Zebra Products special will be out, the Zebra Show, and it is a Sprenger special. So we've got some really cool guests on that show. We have got US team news pending at some point within the next week. They said it would be by the 1st of June, so that is creeping closer as well. So lots going on. We hope you enjoy it, and we will be back very soon. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you guys for listening.